Fighting Words by Ellie Holcomb, 100 Days of Speaking Truth into the Darkness. Day 9. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and familiar with suffering. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering, yet we considered him punished by God, stricken by him, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. Isaiah 53, 3a, 4-5. Have you ever had seasons full of pain and loss? My husband Drew and I walked through a season of about 4 years of seemingly senseless suffering and sorrow. We have a vibrant community, but in that period of time, so many different people we love dearly walked through deeply painful circumstances. We had dear friends experience everything from anxiety to depression, 2 years of infertility, to addiction, to cancer diagnosis, to a divorce, and we walked with 2 different families who lost children. We were raw and weary as we journeyed through blow after heartbreaking blow with our people. It was during that excruciatingly painful season that I began to cling tightly to this verse. It was such a comfort to know that even as our hearts were breaking, God broke too. He sent his Son to be broken for us so we could know we would never be alone in the brokenness. During that difficult season, we encountered the companionship and comfort of the man of sorrows himself. We often didn't know the right words to pray during that season, but we did experience healing as God met our aching hearts with his very presence. And it was this that inspired Drew and I to write a song, Man of Sorrows. Here are the words. Lord, you're aching with me. Help me to believe that when my soul is lost in the storm, you're acquainted with my grief. Man of sorrows, what a name, bore our suffering, bore all of our shame. Man of sorrows, broken sinners to reclaim. You overcame the darkness and walked out of the grave. One of our friends who lost his little boy just days after he was born has said this. I think God's answer to suffering might be, me too. Isn't that powerful? God suffered too. He suffered for us, so we could know that suffering never gets the final word. Jesus was broken for us, so we could know our brokenness is never the end of the story. He walked out of the grave with scars on his resurrected body, so we could know that this scarred God-man defeated death. By his wounds, we are healed. Lord, help us to remember that this verse carries both the promise of the ultimate healing, but also the promise of the companionship and comfort in the middle of our deepest places of sorrow. Here are Ellie's questions. Whatever pain or loss you're facing or have faced, how does it encourage you to know that your God deeply understands what suffering is like? Who are your people, and what kind of sorrows do they carry today? How might God be leading you to simply show up for them right now? We face seasons of blow after heartbreaking blow. What ultimate blow did Christ take for you? How does this truth change the way you face hard seasons? Jesus, I praise you for choosing the way of suffering that I might have companion in my own journey through it. You know the sorrows I carry today, and I entrust them to you right now. For you understand the depth of them even more than I do. Help me remember that you endured the greatest version of pain and loss on the cross, on my behalf. Let your endurance through sorrow empower mine today and use me as an instrument of comfort in the lives of others. My thoughts. Wow. Okay. This one was really tough to read. Not only have I gone through some hard times, but I have several people in my life that have gone through some hard times. And a lot of us question, where is God? What, is he seeing what's happening? Does he even know what is happening? Is he aware? Does he even care? I don't know about you, but I have gone through some things in my life that I have cried out to God and asked these very questions. And sometimes we don't want to admit that, but I don't think you're human unless you ask these questions. God, where are you in this situation? So pain and loss, you bet I have had plenty of that. And I have, and I do, and I will. Currently, besides these daily devotions, I am also studying the book of Habakkuk. And if I'm not saying that right, just forgive me. It is 3 chapters. That's it. It's a very small book of the Bible, but I have been reading it and learning from it in a study called Even If. And even if we are going through hard times that we don't understand, our hope is Jesus. Our hope is that God is good and God knows exactly what's going on, and he sees everything, all the details, and that we need to place our hope and trust in him. God never promised that life was going to be easy, but he did promise that he was going to be there with us and help us get through the really tough times. Some might say, what kind of God is that? But honestly, I couldn't imagine going through my days without that hope in my life, without knowing that I serve a God who loves me just as I am in this broken vessel of Maria, and that Jesus took on all of that for me on the cross. And so I can have peace and joy because of what he did for me. And in truth, because I know this, I can then help others who are going through some tough times. So I just need to be attentive to other people. And if they need some hope in their lives, hopefully I can be that person that can give them that hope. Clinging on the promises of God and knowing that I can trust him sure helps me get through hard times. So hopefully that can encourage other people as well. So let me know if this is helping you at all. That even though we do have tough times that we go through, we also have good times that we go through. I have great times playing games with my family. We have a great times just hanging out and spending time with each other. I enjoy the sunshine and the plants and all the beautiful sunsets and sunrises that God paints across the sky. I have laughter with friends and laughter with my husband, and I have laughter with my children. There's so much joy and great things too that I don't want to end it there. I just want to end it with, we have a lot of good things that is in our lives as well. But when we face those hard times, it's good to know that we have a God who does love us and does care about us and has ultimately paid the price for us. Be blessed.